Okay, welcome back. So I'm very excited to make this video. It's going to be talking about the Rebirth Iron Trials coming, which should be tomorrow with the update on Thursday. Now, I want to talk about some of the changes that are going to happen. Right now I'm practicing with the 357, which is the closest to the speed of fire of the Magnum. So I'm trying to get it a little bit of reps. I also think that a fast rate sniper would also be pretty good. But either way, so let's go through some of the changes. Okay, so let's take a look at the changes that came around with the first time we had Iron Trials and see if some of these things we may be able to anticipate for Rebirth Iron Trials. We had no free loadout. Helis and SUVs were taken out of the Verdansk Iron Trials. Less money on the ground, less streaks, less ground like good quality ground loot. The starter pistol was a 44 Magnum. I'm gonna try and do some. The Gulag is gonna exist, or presumably the Rebirth Gulag. That could change, but I doubt that they would change the Gulag just because of Iron Trials. It's going to be harder to push particular areas without vehicles. There will be some ground loot, presumably, that is going to be more equipped. Ground loot that you can actually fight with. I don't know that that's going to make too big of a difference, but we will have to look at possible loadout options that you have. Say, for instance, you find a really good AR. What you'll probably do is title your loadouts. The first one you'll probably title something like let me see. Money's going to be very rare. First of all, money's going to be very rare. It's going to be hard to buy a loadout. If you buy a loadout, you could do an overkill class. So overkill, you could do a class with, if say for instance you find a really good SMG, you're not going to be able to get a second loadout, if at all. So SMG, AR, sniper, I think this is how, or LMG, I think this is how we would handle the loadout situation. LMG, and then sniper. So the reason why I'm doing it the way that I am is that you aren't going to get a second loadout. So you can get overkill if you want, but the chances of you getting your perks, your second perk, is going to be very slim. What you can do is, if you decide to get an overkill class, you can get an overkill class, but with the ground loot being a little bit more suitable for Iron Trials, what you can do is pick up a ground loot SMG or pick up a loadout gun from somebody else, and then with your one loadout, grab your perks, and then fill out your class based off of what you have. So if I pick up a ground loot SMG, I don't need an SMG, I can go ahead and pick up a sniper, or I can pick up an LMG or something like that. I think that's going to be one thing that's going to be very helpful. Specialist is also an option as well. So the thing with specialist, I mean, it may not be an option depending on whether or not they keep it, but if I'm not mistaken, you have the option to buy specialists. It may be in certain situations better for you to get specialists than for you to buy a loadout. Obviously, if you get loadout that's 6 perks on your squad, unless some of them are overkill, in which it's wasted a perk, depending on your ground loot. But if one of your teammates gets specialists, you end up getting double time, which only helps the individual, EOD, which could help the squad. If you get pushed with a RPG or something like that, one person can survive it and then reset and be able to reset clays or throw gas. Basically, one person is all it would take in order to prevent the push from a Semtex or RPG or whatever it is. Scavenger can be very helpful because I think ground loot looting is going to be very difficult in general. Just treat it like a mini royale where AR ammo, SMG ammo, everything is going to be hard to find. Money's going to be hard to find. A specialist will allow you to scavenge for ammo. Cold-blooded only helps the individual, doesn't help the team. Kill chain can help the team because kill streaks are already going to be tough to find. Quick fix can help the team because it's going to help you in more end-game situations, especially with the 250 health. Restock helps the team because you can resupply stuns, claymores, semtexes, and so on. That can help the team. Hardline can help the team because it's going to help the team have be able to purchase more with the little money that they do have. That could be a really big asset. High alert can help the team. Ghost won't really help the team unless in certain rare scenarios. Point man can help if you decide to pick up like a floor loot bounty or something like that. You'd get a little bit more money for it. Tracker can help the team, especially in situations where you're near an enemy team. Somebody gets down because they play very campy. You can see through the walls a team get a finish that you wouldn't necessarily know what was going on in the building next to you. Spotter helps the team. Battle harden can help the team if you get pushed with a flash or a stun or something like that. Shrapnel can help the team. Say for instance you throw in a semtex into a building, the damage will be sustained for longer, so your team would be able to push for longer and be able to ensure that y'all get those knocks. Amped helps the individual, and tune up of course helps the team. So if somebody on your team has self-revive, they'll be able to utilize tune up to quickly revive themselves as well to quickly revive the other person as well. So specialists can be a very viable situation. Most of these help the team and not necessarily the individual. So it can help to buy specialists and instead of loadout if you have the extra money. What are some of the other changes? Less ammo, less armor. Tempered can be big because it preserves your armor. Let me see. Stims are going to be huge because one of the changes is stuns are less effective than they are previously. I don't know if heartbeat sensors are nerfed. I mean they're already mediocre at best, but stims are buffed. It takes longer to regen your health, which helps more in the gas. I remember whenever Iron Trials first came out, that's when people really started going back to using stims. It takes longer to regen your health, which allows you to be in the gas longer with fewer stims. It also gets you back to 250 health, which is going to be the base health. Let's look at the map and let's talk about what it's going to be like to play Iron Trials in Rebirth. Okay, so taking a look at the map, it's going to be very, very hard to loot. Money's going to be scarce. I'm trying to look at some of the power positions first. HQ is going to be very, very hard to take without a heli or to be able to get up high. You'd have to get a precision. Precisions are going to be kind of rare. Getting on top of the water tower is going to be kind of difficult. Again, without a heli, there's no way to get up to these very high positions. There's that tower insecurity, the place on harbor. A lot of these height positions are going to be very, very hard to take without a precision and without a heli. Looking at some of the possibilities for looting, a lot of what you may have to do is float a little bit while you're dropping off, trying to get a look at where people are going to go. Money's going to be very scarce. You can try to fight for some of the strong positions like prison, control center, bio. Some of these places have a lot of loot generally, but I doubt that it's going to be the same. I feel like what's going to have to happen in this particular mode is you're going to have to be very, very picky on when you loot. You're going to have to win a couple of gunfights. And you may have to make a decision whether or not you should buy a loadout, whether you should try to go for specialists, or you should use that money on something else like a self-revive or precision or something else. Okay, so a couple of final thoughts. Regaining is going to be very difficult. You would have to fight gulag. People are going to camp quite a bit. Every single corner you're going to have to check because people will camp this mode. Ammo is going to be pretty scarce, so you may consider a slow rate of fire gun. You may consider finding a way that you can better utilize your ammo, maybe trying to save up for a munitions box or something like that. You're going to have to be very picky. Finally, this mode should feel very much like Mini Royale. It's going to feel very much like a Battle Royale. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and it's going to be very interesting.